Many professions have contributed to the field of early childhood education. We'll look at 3 different professions that have made significant contributions. First, in the field of medicine, many professionals have studied child development. This has led to knowledge in the areas of child rearing and education. Maria Montessori was one doctor that studied children's diseases and connections to disabilities. Sigmund Freud, many of you have heard of him, changed how we view early childhood in 2 primary ways. First way is a person is influenced by their early experiences. And 2, those early influences shape the way people live and behave as adults. Have you heard of Arnold Gesell? He was a doctor who studied early childhood growth and development and was influential in the way we think about the sequence of typical development. In fact, he created quite a lengthy assessment that used to be used quite frequently for young children. Benjamin Spock wrote a detailed how-to book on childcare that was widely used in the 40s and 50s by many parents. My mom used that book. He was known for his common sense approach and initiated the movement to baby-proof a home rather than keep a child in a confined space. Many of you have probably heard of the playpen as a thing of the past, but that was used for many children to keep them in a confined space so that parents could get some chores done and things like that. T. Barry Brazelton is a pediatrician and is known for developing an assessment for newborns and also his work around parenting. Second is the field of education and its influence on early childhood education. The Macmillan sisters were 2 American sisters who traveled extensively and opened the Nurture School in England in response to high childhood mortality rates for slum children. The sisters' ideas about providing health-related services along with educational is foundational to many early childhood programs for poor children today, including Head Start. Susan Isaacs was instrumental in interpreting Freud's work and applying it to early childhood settings. And one of her lasting legacies in early childhood is that play is a child's work. The child study movement began in the 1920s and involved universities as lab schools in the fields of education, psychology, and home economics. These lab schools provided research on how to best educate young children and training for early childhood teachers. The British infant schools influenced education for young children by promoting mixed-age classrooms, learning centers, and critical thinking and problem solving rather than learning by memorization. Reggio Emilia was an educational system developed by Loris Malaguzzi in Italy that promoted the project approach, respect for children's creativity, and total community support and involvement. The third disciplinary influence is psychology. Early childhood education is steeped in the research and principles of human behavior. Some of the areas of research that have informed the field of early childhood education include language acquisition, attachment, early adverse experiences, cognitive processes, and neuroscience. As technology increased, we were given a window into the workings of the brain. This is fascinating work. The work of cognitive neuropsychologists allows us to link specific regions of the brain with specific cognitive processes, such as verbal and memory skills, attention, emotional responding, and motor coordination. We'll discuss brain development in more detail later in the term when we talk about typical and atypical development. For now, exit the lecture and watch the 2 videos on brain development.